Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Love Ambassador Meetup. It is 9 a.m. in San Diego, where I am. Where are you? What are you grateful for? That is why we're here to share and connect. If you have some gratitude in your heart, I would love to hear it, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. But first, let's take a moment to make up a song about us, 'cause we're not on cars, we're not in trucks. Should've rhymed with bus, that was the word I meant to say, but hey, welcome to this glorious day. It's Love Morning, sharing the good stuff. Love Morning, you don't have to be tough. Love Morning, happy to see you today. I don't know about that one. That was all over the place. Good morning, Caitlin. Good morning, Zoe. Good morning, Gerbot. Is it really Wednesday already? Oh my gosh. Happy hump day. Hello to you in Indiana. Wonderful, Caitlin. Thanks for being here. Well, I am feeling so grateful for gratitude today. I felt like Good morning, Michael. Oh wait, let me do this. I've been oops. No. Cancel. What just happened here? Okay. I have been feeling good morning, Razor Blade. I feel like there's been a lot of things over the last 48 hours that could easily pull me into a funk or negativity. In fact, I've had some pulls of, like, this morning I woke up and I was like awake and I was like, am I excited about this day at all? But I've been just getting pummeled with gratitude messages lately, with reminders from books, from media, from my own voice from the past. And I want to share those kind of reminders, or what those things were, in just a moment. Good morning, Kiri. Kiri says, I'm so grateful for gratitude today. Peter, hey, good to see you, Peter. And it was so wonderful to meet you on Playa. Peter says, I'm more grateful for gratitude today than you are. The raspberry sound, is that this? Is that sound? That's how I know the raspberry sound. There's a few, I'm reading this book called, I'm starting to worry about this Black Box of Doom by David Pargan. I think that's what it's called. I'm starting to worry about this Black Box of Doom. And David Pargan has written some awesome books that I've enjoyed. Most famously, John Dies at the End. And there's this like darkness, this kind of almost like a horror, aggressive and violence in his books. And so I like it, but it's kind of on the edge of what I consider to be palatable. And so I was on the fence about reading this book, but I've been following him on TikTok lately and really enjoying his perspectives. And I am loving this book. It's a adventure story. It's a fictional story about I don't know, people being pursued by the authorities. Except it takes place in today's world, where there's one of the guys is a Twitch guy. Another person got into social media trouble years ago. And so there's all these really insightful looks into modern media and social media and Reddit and Twitch and just all the ways that we are being influenced by media, like what we're in right now. And so it's a story that, as the characters share their experiences and their biases, I found it. I'm still in it. I'm finding it really insightful. Like, one of the characters is an angry, lonely young man who could be called an incel, and it'd be easy to make him into a two-dimensional, ignorant person. But he gets a chance to kind of defend himself through his character, because the character believes himself. So he's sharing why he has these kind of misogynist views. And I in no way agree with those views, but I'm finding it insightful to listen to this character explain themselves. But the part that it just like I just went back and listened to it again, and there's a character who just explains how the internet and our devices are so powerfully making us pessimistic and nihilistic, and are only reporting on negative things. And there's so many amazing things happening in the world that we just don't have the viewpoint for, because it is not the story that we are being told. And it sounds like the person could have dropped in here and inspired us. And it's this character in a book, that I was expecting to be a little bit edgy and harsh. And I was like, wow, super inspiring. So super grateful for that book. I know I didn't explain it very well. And then something that's just like reading about all the people that I know and friends of friends that are dealing with post-hurricane situations in North Carolina, and just like really legitimate struggles. And I don't know how you can watch someone or see someone describing their home being destroyed, and them trying to figure out how they're going to get water, and not feel, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. My life is so easy. I'm so lucky. That was one of the things that the book said. It was saying that we live in what did they say? It was like I wrote it down. A pleasure explosion. That we have won the lottery. That the number of ways that we can experience pleasure in this modern era compared to any time in history, even just music, like the ability to listen to music on demand. Imagine, and the foods, and he goes, how many people in the history of humans have been able to experience a climate-controlled room? And we consider that to be baseline. Like, we get upset if our air conditioning's not working. And so this book's explanation of you realize, for up until 30 years ago, all of humanity was living in a condition that we consider to be post-apocalyptic. That's what life was until 30 years ago. Anyway, okay, so that's part. I'm going to read some comments and check in, and then we'll get more into the other things that I've been just wow about. Okay. Peter's explaining more about the more raspberry insight. Thank you. Razorblade says, I am grateful my heart palpitations are starting to settle. Ooh, me too. That sounds so distressing. Curious says, I'm grateful I woke up with energy and my body felt awesome enough that I was able to wash and detail my car. Woo! I'm so grateful to be intimately attuned to my body. The book is I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom, and the author is Jason Pargin, Pargin. Gerbot, grateful to have the day off to go pick up friends from the airport today. Which means you've got friends in your future. Amazing. Antonia, good morning. How wonderful to see you. Antonia is a incredibly talented singer, musician, and love ambassador. So really nice to see you this morning. Whoa, Gerbot sharing a thing I didn't realize. This on YouTube. It says, pro tip, you can just seek back, then change the speed to 1.5x to catch up without missing anything. I did not know that. Thank you, Gerbot. Natasha says, good morning. I am grateful for the roof over my head with running water and electricity. I mean, I feel like those words feel so visceral right now as I'm listening and hearing about some people who do not have those things. She continues, I'm dealing with a knee injury right now, which sucks, but I have a beautiful, comfortable space to be in while I recover. I am so blessed. I have been feeling those words. I am so blessed the last 48 hours, which has really been knocking out some of the potential temptations to be frustrated or angry, depressed, or upset. Juan, hello to you in Toronto. I love you too. Antonio says, I got married last month. I am grateful for my love, our beautiful wedding, the change of seasons, pajamas, cold water, hope in the world. Ooh, Natasha saying the video is mega crisp today, which I did a bunch of like updating devices and optimizing network stuff yesterday because my bandwidth has sucked lately. So that's good to hear. Hopefully that continues. Awesome. Gerbot is stating the book title I keep saying is I'm starting to worry about this Black Box of Doom. I have not finished it, but so far I very much recommend it. A big part of the book is characters having conversations that seem like conversations that I would be in, like ranting about modern media from someone who is really, I think, insightful and optimistic, which is such a gift, and non-judgmental, which is so you get the perspective of the incel person portrayed in a way that even as you disagree, you like have some compassion, and then a bunch of characters that are, not people that you sympathize with, but you find a little bit of understanding for them, which I think is really, really well done. Good morning, Jason. Welcome back, Tall Paul. Good to see you. I hope your trip was adventurous. Gerbot says, I'm also grateful for so many years and good memories at my local bar and late night kitchen down the street from me, sadly processing their sudden, immediate, and permanent closure. Oh, man. That's the thing about loss. It's a mixed bag of gratitude and grief. Wonderful. So another thing that is really, I saw this video that in my memories that came up from 4 years ago of me speaking after a presidential debate. Now, I did not watch the vice presidential debate last night. I watched enough minutes for me to go, okay, they ask a question and the answer, they say whatever they want. I'm done. But looking back at 4 years ago, what I said was, I think I mentioned, I was talking about how there's a scene in the Titanic where there's people playing classical music, as the ship is going down. And you sometimes hear the phrase, it's like rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic as like a waste of energy and a waste of time and like caring about something that doesn't matter. And that's something that I chew on a lot of like, what is it, why do we try to connect and why be a love ambassador? Culture seems, it's easy to get pessimistic. It's just part of what this book is about too. And I'm like, so if let's say the Titanic is going down, isn't playing music an incredibly good use of energy and time? that, I mean, sure, if you have a way to bail out water or do something that is productive, maybe rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic allows for more people to access the boats, or makes it so people have a clear path, or there could be plenty of helpful ways and reasons to rearrange the deck of the Titanic, or even just to play music so as to make these moments more pleasant, to soothe and enjoy these last moments. To panic, to declare we are sinking, all is falling apart, the doom is ahead, that does not change the sinking of the boat. It simply makes that final chapter of your life, of the experience, miserable and panicky, whereas the music can make it enjoyable. And so I think that there is, why spread love in a doomed world? Because what if you playing music get someone soothed enough that they think a little clearer? That maybe instead of pushing someone out of a boat, they find a way to get one more person in there. Maybe the positive impact, maybe it does no good except for making the moments of this present moment more beautiful. That sounds like good enough to me. So I am feeling inspired to appreciate the music on the Titanic, the beauty all around, no matter what the narrative is. I got to tell you the negative thing that I've been fighting with. But first I will say, Tal Paul says, they played Nearer My God to Thee. Oh, beautiful. Michelle says, can't think of much today. So how about grateful for you and so glad for the community of positivity? I'll take it. Peter says, grateful for the last recommendation, Sapiens. Isn't this a good one? So Black Book of Doom is very different. It's a fiction story, but I think it has some really cool insight in it. Good morning, Hope. So here's like one of the contexts of my life that would be easy to get focused on negativity. So right now I can hear construction. The building next to me, they knocked it all down, and it was a house, and they knocked the house, and they're building a 3-story building that is literally a foot from my fence. So I went from looking out my window and seeing sky and tree to a wall, and my plants outside have sawdust all over them, and it's loud, and it's going to be months of this. And I keep thinking, like, do I have any control over this? Like, not really. I mean, I'm working on moving, so but I'm not going to be able, like, and I go to gratitude. Like, I'm grateful that I have the ability to, and I had already had the plan to move in the next month or 2 months. I'm grateful that I have some place to stay when it gets too loud. Like, after this, I'm going to go to Solana, close to the beach. Now, what's making it somewhat difficult, or I have some neighbors in my building that are very angry and are yelling at the workers and yelling and dropping F-bombs. And so yesterday, a neighbor shows a sign, like a professionally printed sign they made, that calls the owners of the building like pigs, like greedy pigs, that they want to place like a yard sign in front of our building so that everybody in the street and the builders next door know that we're so angry at them for being greedy and developing, even their building, even though it drives down the value and the beauty of ours. And I'm kind of like, they showed it to me, and I'm like, that is not the tone that I would use. Like initially they said, are you with us? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'd like to understand more, but I'm not with them. Like, I'm certainly not angry at the workers and even the owner. Like, he lives in a system where he's bought a property and he's trying to maximize his investment. Like, if we're angry, we should be going to city council and going to city council meetings. If we really but the system is what it is. So I can either try to change the system or accept that there are things that I can't change. But just to, the sign, the only action item in the sign was be angry. And I'm like, fuck that. I just want to be grateful. If I, grant me the wisdom to know what I can't change and accept what I can't. And what I can and can't, also, that's what am I willing to be invested in to do the work? Is it worth it to me to dedicate the energy required to understand zoning laws and how city council works? And I mean, is it worth it to me to speak to a lawyer and see if there's been laws broken? Is it worth it to live in a state of anger for indefinitely? To me, no, it is not. So, this is the context of my immediate world and my home. And so all of these gratitude reminders have been so helpful to not get swept up in, or if I've been swept up in, to knock off these tentacles of anger and fear inciting. Because I mean, after I saw that sign, I was like, it really pulled me into a feeling of, ugh, like the energy around here is ugh. So instead, I am going to find things to be grateful for. I am going to, even if this home does not have the view it once had, it is still a home. I still have no bed bugs. I still have hot water. I still have access to air conditioning and climate-controlled home. I still have fresh food available easily. I have so much to be grateful for that I'm not going to let the reduction of one tiny dial in my pleasure empire, I'm not going to let that sour the cake. How was that for mixing 5 metaphors? And I guess it is easy for me to count my blessings. Well, not easy, but I do. I don't have to be here. I'm going to leave this space here after this, so I don't have to listen to the buzzing. They're welding and grinding metal right now. I can hear it. Ugh. Natasha says, there are no bombs falling on your house. There are no bombs falling on my house. There is no mud filling my home. I don't have to decide what of my items I need to try to dry out so they don't get damaged by mold. I mean, that is the focus of tens of thousands of people right now in this country. So I keep saying to Lisa, I'm like, I love our problems. I love our problems. And I love that I can face the problems with a beautiful, wonderful partner. Juan says, last month I've been trying to apply the 10 burn principles in my regular life, especially gifting love without expecting anything in return. And your videos help a lot. Sometimes it is hard, but you're a great inspiration. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Juan. I think it really helps hearing that in the same way that you seeing me helps you. It really helps knowing that you're not alone. Even in the attempt, it's okay that the world is not on board 100% with the 10 principles. But if you know that there's some of us trying, there's something beautiful and valiant and inspiring about that. I went to a meeting last night about a possible workshop kind of retreat, and the guy leading it was explaining some of his path and his choices, and it was really inspiring to hear how clear he was on like his values. And one of his values is the integrity of the food that he eats and for his family. So he said, I've got a freezer right here that is filled with animals, with meat that I have butchered, that I have either raised or friends and farmers I know have raised. He goes today, someone brought me a sheep that had been mauled by a wolf. So I butchered it so that we could have the meat. So I know what everything that I'm eating has eaten. And to me, that is that process of being in integrity with the food source for me and my family is important. And just like, so he got clear, he's living in alignment with that process. Now, is the food sources of the world being changed? Not really, but he is attempting to live in integrity with what he believes to be right. And his community that he is connected to is also trying to do that. So it keeps you inspired. Same is true with 10 principles in gifting. Like, look, you know who you want to be. So you have the opportunity to act in accordance to your values. You don't need the world to support you. It's way easier. Yes, that's why Burning Man is so fun, and events and retreats are so awesome, because you have the momentum of other people. But you don't need the momentum of other people to make choices and act in accordance to your values. When you start to believe that gifting is integral to world change and to peace, then you get to do it. Especially, as you said, Juan, when you give love without expecting anything in return. You can do it on your own. You can do it by yourself. And you just know, I'm doing it. And sometimes what you do inspires others, like my friend and his meat habits. I start to think, should I be so casual about my food sources? Like right now, it's not a value, but I see him, and that's inspiring. And someone might see and experience you gifting, Juan, and go, that's inspiring. Hope said the same thing happened with someone building next to her 10 years ago. Anything I should be worried about? Natasha's saying about the mold concerns, that's their focus as they sit in some pretty serious physical discomfort too. Yeah, I was reading a friend's post. I'm going to say friend, like a Facebook friend. I don't know them, but they were talking about like how hard it was to use some water to wash the mud off of them because their water was so restricted. And they were thinking about how hard it was going to be to put on their muddy boots with no socks tomorrow to get to work again. And like all of these conditions, as you say, that are just like really hard. That was one of the things about this retreat last night, that one of the things that was being presented was an uncomfortable situation with legitimate challenges and cold, harsh sleeping environments and really like obstacles to overcome as a group. But part of the obstacles are overcoming discomfort. And I really had to sit with the fact that I don't want that. I recognize that would probably be good for me. I might even say I'm glad I went through it, but it is not something that I want to sign up for right now. Peter says, if I have a good view, it just means my neighbor hasn't attempted to build the same view for themselves. but views can be fought for in Malibu, where billionaires don't lose their pricey view. Ha! I mean, there is, that's the kind of thing where you can, city council, there are zoning rules that people vote on. And like in Solana Beach, if you want to build up, you have to install PVC pipes that basically as high as you want to build. And then they have a meeting and people can come in and say, the pipes block my view, I'm against it for this reason. And so, but that's built into the rules in that community. So, and some communities say, no building, there's a freeze. You can't build at all because we don't want, we don't have enough parking yet. And so one of the things happening in San Diego is there's this narrative that the cities of the future won't need as many cars because we'll have self-driving cars and so they're allowing permitting bigger structures with less parking. That's the kind of thing that I'm sure allows this building. Like there's a story now. We need more housing. More housing will bring down the costs. So build. What sucks for me, somebody has made the argument it's good for the city. That's so often the story of politics. It's like none of us were going to city council meetings until it's in our backyard, right? That's just the way that most people live. All right, I think we should have a hug and go off into our days and try to continue on with our gifting and our love ambassadorship. Thank you so much for being here and helping me anchor in. Oh, there's something I wanted to say. Dun, dun, dun. Why is this doing this? I wanted to just give a plug to this new drink I am using, Lucid Super Coffee. Lucid is the brand. They've got a chai and this is a coffee, and it's got like nootropics, mushrooms. It's like instead of coffee, it's got a coffee flavor-ish, and it's got tons of like lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tail. It's got L-tyrosine, L-theanine, creatine, and so the idea is when you're trying to cut your coffee, but you still like a coffee drink, I think it tastes delicious. I'm a fan. I haven't cut out coffee, but I'm reducing coffee. So I had 1 cup of coffee, and then I'm having this right now, and I'm loving it. So it's now available on Amazon. I just ordered this. Delicious. Thank you, Lucid. It's made by some friends. I have some friends run the company. I should have said that. So I am incentivized by my love of them and my trust in them to be promoting this. And if you are interested in microdosing psychedelic mushrooms, I have another friend that sells that product. And if you would like the website to order the microdosing product, send me a message and I will give you that address. They ship it. It's beautiful stuff. I use it. Not currently, I'm not using it, but I used it pretty consistently, especially when I just started getting sober from intoxicants. Wherever you are, let's give a big ol' squeeze. Appreciating our problems, appreciating all the little things we take for granted, appreciating the ability to connect and be reminded and to have fellow love ambassadors to inspire us and to keep wind beneath our wings. So let's take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb And all of us, thanks for being here today for our Love Ambassador meetup. Thanks for being a part of Hug Nation. I love you. And just to be clear, this, not psychedelic. The other product I was talking about, psychedelic, but it's a microdose, so you don't experience psychedelics. It just helps to adjust mood and neuroplasticity. Oh, Peter's saying that the PVC pipe scaffolding, they do that in Malibu as well. Yeah, it's interesting. There's places in Solana Beach that the pipes have just been there for years. Like, I guess they never got permission to build. Thank you, Gerbot. Good to see you. Have fun with your friends today. And good to see you, Razorblade. Hello, Raven. Good morning. Good day. Enjoy, everyone. I'll see you soon.